So now let's talk about the line tool. Now you can start line tool from draw panel of home tab. That's the first tool right here. So you can just left click here to start the line tool, and when the command starts, its icon, its name and the description will show up on the command line. Alternatively, you can also start the line tool using its command alias, which is L. So I'll press escape key to exit out of this, and now I'll type L and press enter, and this will also start the line tool. So you can use any of these methods. Now with line tool active, I'll first make the very simple line, and to do that you just need to click at a point and the line will start here. Now just click on the second point and we have the line, third, fourth, and just keep on clicking and you'll have this line. So this kind of line is also called rubber bending line because of its nature. As you can see, it looks like a rubber band which is starting from a point and is stretching in the second direction. Now if you want to exit out of this line, simply press escape key and we are out of this command. Now to repeat this command, you can simply press enter key, and when you press enter key, AutoCAD will repeat the last command, which is line in this case. Now if you want to make a line which is perfectly horizontal or vertical, then just click at a point. Now move in horizontal direction, and now you can see this green tracking vector. Now as long as you have this green tracking vector, you can be sure that line is perfectly horizontal. So just click and we have horizontal line. Now you can move up and then we have a vertical line. Now in a similar way, you can make line which is inclined to an angle as well. Now to understand this, I'll first delete everything that we have here. So I'll just make a window, I'll delete it, and now I'll explain it using an example drawing. So let's start with line tool, and first let's make a rectangle of length 10 and width 2 unit, or length 10 and height of 2 unit. So I'll click at a point. Now I'll move towards right side and the length is 10. So to specify a proper length, you just need to type that number. So I'll type 10 and I'll press enter. Now that's the length of 10 unit. Now I'll move in this direction, and here I need a length of 2 units. So I'll just type 2 and press enter. Let's repeat it for this side. Now this should be 10. So 10, enter. And finally, you can just type 2 and press enter, or you can just join it with this point. Now when you join it with this point, this kind of endpoint marker will show up. Now click and it is joined. To exit out of this command, press escape, and here we have the rectangle. Alright, so now let's start line tool again. So I'll go to line tool, and now I'll click at this point, and here I'll just make another line of length 3 unit. So let's just type 3 and press enter. Alright, there we are. Now we want to make a line which is at an angle of 30 degrees, something like this. Now this 30-degree angle will be with respect to positive side of x-axis, which is this straight line. So the 30-degree angle should be right here, from this to this, in anti-clockwise direction. Now to add an angle, you need to type this angle sign. Now this angle sign is right next to the M key on your keyboard. Press and hold shift key, then to this angle sign, and the angle sign will just be added here, just like this. Now type the number, which is 30, and now AutoCAD will take this number as an angle and press enter, and this will happen. The line is now locked to an angle of 30 degrees. Even if you move your cursor further away from that line, the line will stay at an angle of 30 degrees. And you only need to add the length. So the length which we need for this one is 7. So I'll type 7 and press enter. There we are. Now the length of this line is 7. Its angle is 30 degrees with respect to positive side of x-axis. Alright, now let's move it up and maybe add another distance here of 2.4 unit. There we are. And now I'll move it here and I'll add a distance of, let's say, 8 unit. Enter, and now you can add another angle if you want. Now in this case, we want another angle, and we want an angle of 150 degrees with respect to this line, again in anti-clockwise direction. Now the process will be exactly the same. Simply type this angle sign and then type 150 and press enter. There we are. Now again it will be locked to an angle of 150 degrees. With that angle, you can now create it. So let's add a distance, which is 6 in this case, and press enter. So we are done. Now you can just move it down, or you can add the remaining distance. Now in this case, I'll just join it with this point right here. I'm not going to make it any further, and I'll simply click here and press enter or escape key to exit out of this command, and this is our final shape. And that's how you can easily create lines using different angles and lengths. If for whatever reason when you are making a line you have this kind of cursor which looks like this, where right next to cursor we have some extra options, all these options, well in that case you need to deactivate it first. Now this thing is called dynamic input. We'll discuss about this tool later in this course, but for now deactivate dynamic input, and you can do that simply by pressing F12 function key, or you can click on this dynamic input icon right here to deactivate it. If you don't have this dynamic input icon here, just click on this 3- line, activate dynamic input. This should be checked. When it is checked, this icon will show up here, and when it shows up simply click to deactivate it, and now you'll only have a single cursor with no extra tooltips. So that's how your cursor should look like for all the other examples which we are about to discuss.